What is going on, guys? This is Ben here, bringing you another Vainglory video. In today's video, we have some awesome news because we have the patch notes free update 1.18. And now I just want to mention this update will probably, in my opinion, be live very soon because I think this Friday, would it be the 27th? Yeah, May 27th. We would have the sky skinning like upon us, and they said that we would be able to get those in the next update. So they have to like update the game before we're able to get those. And honestly, with them giving us the patch notes in the like previous updates, when they did that, like usually like the update follows, or the maintenance break for it follows like the day after or like 2 days later. So I assume one of these next days here we're gonna have the update, or the update will be inbound. But I'm gonna give you my thoughts on everything. There's a lot of cool things coming in this update. Unfortunately, no Lyra this update, but hey, we have a new hero, Lance. We know we already talked about him. We had a little bit of gameplay footage of him, but as soon as he comes out, boys and girls, we're gonna be testing him out, see if he's actually well, I want to see how he can do crystal power, looking at his abilities, well, even weapon power. But he's considered a roamer, but we shall see. Pretty much everything is kind of the same that we talked about before. The only thing that's really different is his, like, we get more information on his B ability, and I'll read it for you guys. Lance strafes around the enemy he has most recently attacked. So what that means is probably like he faces them, like walking with them, like while looking at them. He reduces damage from the target's direction by up to 50%. So like whatever like a hero he's near and he's facing, less damage. It's pretty easy to understand that. This one's pretty cool though, like the active on it, because you use the ability and it's kind of like Rona's active. Like, you know how Rona's B ability, her foe splitter, you hit a person, then you can activate it again to hit it again. So this is probably what Lance's is. Lance sweeps away his I can't talk right now. Lance sweeps opponents away with his pole arm, dealing weapon damage and also stunning them if they collide with a wall or a structure. Afterward, he holds his shield steadfast, greatly reducing incoming damage from the target's direction by up to 90%. If this is overdriven while active, Lance ignores all debuffs from any direction. So that's pretty sweet. Basically, he sweeps away and then his shield comes down to reduce damage by up to 9%. And then if you have overdrive on that, he can't get stunned or whatever when he's doing that. So that's pretty sweet, or like be burned or anything like that. His combat roll, pretty much he can just like changes direction, and then he does another like auto attack and stuff like that. So for repositioning, so Lance, if you guys want to check out more videos on him or more of my in-depth thoughts on him, I'll leave a link in the description for the video. But it's pretty much like the same. This one's a pretty cool one. New features like chest and quest, or quest and chest. Sorry, I don't have my contacts in, so it's kind of like actually hard to read this screen. It's kind of sad. But basically every day, if you guys remember, like, I don't know, some other games that I can think of right now, or like Call of Duty or even like Halo and stuff, like you log in and then there would be like certain like pretty much things to do or quests to do in the game, like get like, I don't know, for instance, for like Call of Duty, get like 50 kills or 50 headshots with this gun, and then you'll get like a reward. That's basically what it is in Vainglory. You can see like it says whether it's securing 75 kills from matches or winning battle royale matches, there's always more to achieve. So you finish one quest, you get rewarded for it, either by, I don't know exactly what it's for, either by glory or maybe even like a chest. And then a new quest can appear. So that's pretty sweet. And then the different chests here are for progression throughout your account. You guys know how our level, when you get leveled up, you're maxed out at level 20. Well, now they're raising that cap to level 30. So for us, those of us that have been playing for a while, us that are level 20, we have 10 more levels to go to that level 30. And every time you level up, you get a new chest. So if you're just starting out in Vainglory, say you're level 5, you'll get like 5 progression chests, because you already had those 5 levels before. But every time you level up, you get a chest. And then so for those of us veterans out here who have the 20 levels, we'll get all of our chests at once and get to open all of those. So I'll probably do an opening on that, see what we get. And then basically probably just wait till I'm level 30 to open all the other ones. We shall see. And this one's like another thing about like the challenges. The first win, third win, and Sinister 7, those aren't really going to be shown as like things on the bottom right of the screen, because they're fixing, they're probably fixing like the UI or how it looks with like the new incoming quest. So they'll probably change that. This one is huge though. Huge for all of you solo queuers out there, or people that are like duo queuing or dealing with AFKers and whatnot. You are going to love this one. For the longest time, a lot of us would remember going into a battle with a bunch of like random people, and then say one of them for whatever reason AFKs or has to leave, and then you're pretty much screwed. You cannot win 2v3 in almost any instance unless like you just really are dominant, like the other team's really bad and you're destroying them. But yeah, so if an AFKer leaves the match, and it says like player has abandoned the match, then you won't lose elo. So say like a lot of the times, like 5 minutes into the game, your player just loses, abandons the match. The 2 players that are still in the match, like on the losing team, will not lose elo, but the AFKer that left will still lose elo. So now you guys are probably thinking of ways to like abuse this. If you go into a match with like say a duo queue or a full team and someone AFKs and abandons, it won't work. It has to be like a random person that you get matched up with. It can't be someone that you go into the matchmaker with or try to like queue up with, if that makes sense. So you can't really like abuse it. It's just like, for whatever reason, say, I don't know, I'm playing, say me and Rumbly are playing with someone, and then we join up with Jimmy, and then Jimmy, like 5 minutes in the game, AFKs, game's over, we surrender, we won't lose elo, but Jimmy will. So then the other team will still gain elo. So that's that. Another thing is XP boost. You guys know how we have like fame and glory boosters. We'll probably get XP boost, and then we already covered all the skins, but we have the Sky skin incoming on May 27th. That's why I believe the update's probably going to be very soon, definitely before May 27th, so we can get this skin at that time. And then Supersonic Sky Tier 1, Tier 2, well, Tier 2 is right here. June 3rd, we have the Celeste Tier 3. Looks freaking awesome. And then Black Feather. And then we have Sky. If you want my in-depth talk about the skies, I'll leave that video in the description below as well. This one's pretty, well, it's not huge, but it goes along with, like, you know how for now you guys, like, you need to see, you have to have vision to see the other like enemies' items and stuff like that. Now you literally don't know how much like CS they have gotten during that time or anything like that. You have to have like vision of them to see their CS score, and or like so you can't really gauge like how much power they have, as Surprise Birthday puts it there. Now there is a Battle Royale surrender 8 minutes into the game. You don't have to wait 16 minutes like before, so that's pretty cool. And there is a ton of hero changes in this one, like a bunch of buffs and nerfs and everything like that. So Vox got a lot of changes, and a lot of changes like that look very, very good, but they'll have to see how they play out. So his base weapon power is up from 38 to 80, like as it scales, to 72 to 149. So that's pretty big. Like his auto attacks are already going to deal a lot more damage. It's going to be easy to farm clear for sure. And this was also going to help him farm clear as well. His attack range is up from 4.5 to 5. So just that little like half a meter, or whatever the units, whatever they use their like measuring in, is going to be pretty big, because he had the shortest range in the game for like laners that would play, and you'd always get bullied, especially with how weak he is now. But that should help him out a little bit farming and whatnot, just from his autos and everything. Julius Song, his basic attacks no longer deal crucial damage to the primary target though. Honestly, like there's a lot of changes that we'll just have to see how they work, and I'll give you my like thoughts on them. But his Sonic Zoom, his weapon power ratio is changed from like 50 to like pretty much 50 across the board until you overdrive it. Overdriving it no longer grants that 20% extra weapon power damage. So they're just kind of like, I don't know, like it seems like they're making it more like sustained damage instead of just a bunch of burst damage. That's what I get out of this. They're wanting you to pulse more, and his like resonance doing more damage. Cooldown, his like pulse cooldown is down quite a bit, from like 12 seconds to 10 seconds, and if you overdrive it to like 8 to 7 seconds. The energy cost is down. The resonance bounce range is back up to 5. Right when you came out, I think it was like around that. It was like a really long range for resonance bounces, but they decreased it because it was so overpowered. And those projectile speeds are a lot faster, so probably a lot more damage. The resonance bounce damage changed from like, it has basically less base damage, but it has a lot more crystal ratio scaling. So the more crystal you get, the more those bounces are gonna do. So, or the resonance bounces. So this sounds like, because I remember back when Vox first came out, like that's how we destroyed everybody. It was just like his resonance bouncing is dealing a crap ton of damage, and they're raising the bounce damage from his resonance. So I don't know, we'll still have to see how that goes. But I know like since they took out his basic attacks, crystal damage down, it's not going to be as much damage as before, but it's still going to be, I think, going to be pretty strong. We'll have to see. But and I keep saying sorry, and my webcam probably just froze a little bit there. It does that from time to time. Pulse no longer amplifies resonance damage from, let's see, by percentage. It adds like just base damage. So that's a lot of like I guess a lot of the damage down is more consistent damage across the board. Resonance spreads to targets hit by resonance. Okay. Reflex block no longer presents resonance from bouncing. So basically you can't reflex block his resonance anymore, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. And then his wait for it is cooldown. Honestly, that's just what I think. He's not going to be as bursty. He's just going to be more like consistent more sustained damage, if that makes any sense. But I don't know for sure. I'm really curious to hear you guys' thoughts on Box. I think it's just going to be easier to farm with him, and because like his base damage is up and his range is down. So I think it's gonna be easy to farm with him. We'll have to see how like his pulse and resonance changes though affect it. If it'll be like more consistent damage or maybe like a lot more burst. We'll have to see for sure. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'm definitely excited to try him out. I think they said his pulse is more easy like to be seen now because you couldn't really see it like with the tier 3 skin, but it's still cool. So hopefully they fix that. And then Saw getting a little bit of a buff here. Well, actually, it is a big buff. Excuse me. His stacks now begin to fall off after 3.5 seconds instead of 5 seconds, which can kind of suck, but not really, because after his stacks begin to fall off, Saw loses 1 stack, not all of them at once, every 0.2 seconds after he doesn't attack. So the only way to really reset all your stacks at once is to roadie run out of it, I think. Otherwise, it'll just gradually go down, and then you'll slowly walk faster, not just like all at once, which can be good. And I think that's a good change for him, in my opinion. But that's just what I think. And his damage from the roadie run is a little bit up. It's not like, I don't know, it's not as spread out, but it's like the same if maxed out, if that makes sense, for his missing health damage. And then the energy cost is down at 65 across the board. His suppressing fire, the channel duration is down, which is good because it took him forever to channel and he'd just be sitting there like vulnerable. So it changed by 0.5 of a second is good. His total damage is down and is reduced because you can use it more. Other than that, like the main change to him though, like is his suppressing his like heroic perk of keeping those stacks up, not dropping all at once, is just slowly dropping. So either that'll be really, really good and make him more of a threat for pushing, because like a lot of times the minions he would clear a wave and minions would run out and he couldn't like tank a turret. But by the time the next minion waves get there, he'll still have some stacks and probably get to the turret for pushing. I think it'll be a good change. I think he's gonna be seen a lot more. So I don't know. I think he's gonna be pretty good. That's just my opinion. Maybe if there's a way to like completely cancel your suppressing fire, then he'd be like amazing. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Alpha, not a whole lot of change. Just her ultimate is gonna do a lot more crystal damage. And yeah, so she's gonna be a bigger nuke now. Glaive was a little bit too strong, so they're readdressing that, and they said like his afterburns were kind of just being a little bit too spammy, so basically they increased the energy cost from it, and they changed the damage to more crystal ratio, and the base damage is down a little bit, so it's not going to deal as much damage. And then his blood song, I know like when he would die, it would always give you like the full 20 stacks. Now like say you have like 15 stacks and you die, those 15 stacks will still stay, but it won't recap up to like 20. So say you have 5 stacks, it'll stay at 5 stacks. And other than that, his blood song is like overall is like base damage is down in the beginning levels, like level 1 and level 2, but the damage per stack is up. So if you overdrive it, it's still gonna do the same amount of damage. Adagio, they're saying basically they want his buff to just not be a buff that's like not, they kind of want it like a skill shot, if that makes sense. So they want you to like, so basically what they're doing is they're changing the crystal, they're making the crystal ratio down, and then they're like amping up when Adagio like buffs. Say you have your enemies on fire, and you buff like a Rona, and the Rona attacking the people on fire will deal more damage now. So that damage is up when they're on fire, but it's down when they're not on fire if you're buffed. So they're like kind of making like a skill shot to have them on fire and then buff. So just keep that in mind. And then Rona over here is already freaking strong, and she's getting another buff. So yeah, look out for Rona this update, guys. I'm calling it now. Rona is going to be very, 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 very strong. Basically, they gave her more tankiness, and that's about it. Her blood rage, and it's easier for her to get blood rage, if that makes sense too. Blood rage per stack it's up from 6 to 8 into the fray. Basically, if she lands, the cooldown's down, so you can use it more, and then her fortified health is up, and then her red mist, her ultimate fortified health is up. So yeah, look out for Rona to be more strong. And then Celeste, they're still trying to get her into the game. Well, played a lot, I guess. Her ultimate is down by a big, like a lot of seconds for the first time. Like it's 100 seconds for the first time you use ultimate, and then now they're changing it to 70 for just one upgrade point or level 1. So that's pretty big. And then it's 20 seconds on the second level, and the overdrive is like 10 seconds. But either way, that first one is huge. So maybe that'll make Celeste be played more. We'll see. Fortress, they changed his Law of the Claw. You can actually target buildings now. You guys saw my videos. I would always like try and hit the turret, and it would never work, and it would make me mad. So I'm glad they did that. They changed his damage per second. It's just basically down, reduce the damage of it, and but the base damage is also down a little bit. So he's not as strong, but whatever. Jewel, she's more tanky. She has more armor and shield pretty much. Kestrel, her ultimate, basically for cracking steals. It does full of damage to objectives. Ozo, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really read over the Ozo changes. I just kind of read the description on them. They're giving more healing, and I don't know. I never really played Ozo, so I don't have much opinion on him. We'll see if more people start playing him. I just never found, like, I don't really enjoy playing Ozo. I don't know why. I just don't. But if you do, let me know how you feel, or what you guys think of those changes and whatnot. Black Feather, basically nerfing him a little bit. His attack speed is down a little bit, so he can't get his Heartthrob stacks as easily. And they fixed a bug where his ability would occasionally carry, like, his A ability. Because I remember when you'd use your A ability on like a turret, sometimes you'd like fly over it. So they fixed that. And he won't go behind the target. Scarf got a little bit of another nerf. His Fan the Flames early on probably won't be as strong, and the duration is no longer. It doesn't last for initially 3.5 seconds. It's 2 across the board. So as soon as you get hit by that Spitfire, and then like say early on when you can't get harassed as easily early on. And the damage is up a little bit per stack, but the stacks that you can get are like that big as well. His Spitfire, his base damage is up a little bit, but the crystal ratio is down. So Spitfires will be more consistent. Like, I don't know. Basically, it's not going to be super freaking strong. Well, it still will. It's just not as much because they changed the base damage, but the crystal ratio is 50%, or was 50%, and now it's going to be 35%. So take that how you want. Gonna be less damage. And then each point in goop increases the Fan the Flame stacks maximum by like up to 7. So at first you only get 2 stacks until you get more upgrade points in your goop, and then you can get up to like freaking 7 stacks. Okay. This one's really big though, guys. You can no longer double infuse. Heroes may now only have 1 infusion active at a time, so you can still buy double infusions, but you can only activate 1 of them. So say you have your weapon power infusion activated, you can't activate a crystal infusion, or like, yeah, you can't activate another infusion really. You can probably activate the same infusion to replenish it, but well, yeah, I assume you would, but you can't use the other. I think that's actually going to change a lot of strategy, because like being double infused compared to only 1 single infusion is a big difference, because it adds a lot more like damage depending on which ones you are, and also adds that shielding. So I think that's going to change fights a lot, and it's going to require. I think it's going to require like a lot less teams to not be as scared to fight if they don't have enough money to infuse, like to have like both double infusion, because it won't provide as much of an advantage, because it was a huge advantage when like a team was double infused and a team was not double infused. So basically that's cutting that advantage in half. Like say a team is all in just single infused because that's all they can do, and a team is not. It's cutting the gap there for like big leads and stuff. So that's my take on it. I don't know how it'll play out, but I just think like it'll cut the advantage of huge leads when like a team is double infused and stuff like that. So it's code traps, new visual effect, and then all the bug fixes. So those are all the changes. A lot of hero changes. I'm just think freaking Rona, guys. That's the biggest one. Pretty sure she's gonna be very like I don't want to say overpowered yet, but she's probably gonna get banned quite a bit because she's already strong now. So we'll have to see. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm curious to hear what you guys all think. I'm excited for these skins though, and everything like that. And my like my my voice about to give out, guys. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did, and don't subscribe for more Vainglory videos. Not really. It was have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys later.